Kingdom Come Deliverance I is a game in which you look for a sword for half the game. Kingdom Come 2 is a game in which you look for a sword for half the game. Jokes aside, Kingdom Come Deliverance II is a mouthful, so I dub the Kingdom 2 or just KCD 2, whatever works. It's the follow-up to the legendary first title from Warhorse Studios, and it launches on February 4. But is it as good as the first? Is it worth your time and, more importantly, your money? Welcome to my personal review of Kingdom Come Deliverance II. Unlike the first game, you start with some pretty well developed skills, so you're no pushover. The devs then take a pretty interesting approach to slapping you back down to square one, and you're left to build your skills from scratch, starting with nothing to your name. It's a genius way of giving you a fresh start in a brand new world. But oh my, is this game brutal. You don't get slapped down just once. You'll repeatedly have to deal with setbacks, and it's awesome.
Fucking shit!
Admittedly, some of these are temporary, and you do end up getting your gear back, but man, is this story a roller coaster. So to make this review make sense, let's break it down into a few main points, starting with the shining star of this game, the game world itself. The world is epic. In the beginning, you don't even have a horse, so the map feels huge. Once you do have a horse, the map only feels slightly less huge. The game world is immense, and it's not barren either. There's always something interesting to find. Even just observing the NPCs is crazy interesting.
I'll do whatever I want.
Enough, damn it!
You're in for an arse kicking, you piece of shit!
And then you discover there's a second map, and it's even larger than the first, and every bit as beautiful. Kuttenberg, a city on the second map, feels like an actual city. It's gigantic. Took me damn near an hour just to explore it. So the game world is huge. It's interesting, but most importantly, it feels alive. NPCs have their own things going on. They have their own lives, and couldn't care less about you, unless your presence can somehow benefit them. You can watch these folks go about their day, have their own conversations with others, and even get into the odd brawl. It's hilarious. Speaking of brawls though, I don't think I've been in a town where I haven't been involved in a brawl. This game loves brawls, fighting, women, and drinking. It's almost like it mirrors some typical male fantasy. But anyway, getting off topic here. Another awesome thing about the game world is the character interactions. More than a few times, a random NPC will jump in and join the fight against bandits. Once I even had a random human come to my aid during a fight with a bandit. It's just so fluid, I love it. Anyway, I'm in danger of gushing here, so let's talk about the gameplay. Brewing potions is still a pain in the ass. Should you turn the hourglass and then work the bellows? Should you work the bellows and then turn the hourglass? And then keep working the bellows? It's just messy. It gets better with practice, but I'm no fan of the system. The fighting is every bit as good as in the first title. If not better, it definitely feels more refined. But you're just a few slips away from death everywhere you go. The world has real danger to it. And it's 2025 and you still don't have autosaves every 2 minutes in this game. Which is actually good, since it creates that real sense of danger and loss if you die. Nobody wants to go back half an hour or redo a journey halfway across the map. Anyway, I am fully geared, roaming the Kuttenberg region, and suddenly unnamed bandit 1 and 2 pops out and kicks my ass. And I'm thrown back to my last save. It's glorious. Unless you got the game late and you're trying to speedrun it for a review, then it's kind of a pain in the ass. Overall, horse riding is what it is. But the highlight I must speak of is smithing. Oh man, this was sorely needed in the first title. But it's here now, and I love it. It's one of the most satisfying things you can do in the game. Sure, it gets old after a while, but man, is it fun. I'm heavily tempted to just settle down in Kuttenberg and become a full-time smith. If only there were more interactions to have with standard NPCs and relationships to build, I probably would do that, and it's a brand new game all by itself. Blacksmith Simulator 2025. There's another aspect of games in general that really annoys me. My least favorite part of Final Fantasy VII is when you have to play as Cid while Cloud is out for the count. I speak of the original here. And my least favorite part of Kingdom Come 2 is, well, apart from the stealth missions, when you have to take control of Godwin. I can't speak for all players, but I adopt the character I'm playing as my main character. I'm invested in this character, and having to play as someone else is simply not to my taste. However, KCD2 does this really, really well. The timing is brief, and the story progression during this time is satisfying. I enjoyed even this blip far more than I did some of the stealth missions, for example. Stealth is a bit better than in the first game, but it's not a mechanic I enjoy in these types of games, and I have to speak more about that, but that belongs in the story section. Before we get there, let's talk about the jank. The first title launched with plenty of jank, and I fully expected the second title to be the same. Thankfully, it's not. Warhorse learned from its past and has released what is a surprisingly well-polished game. There are minor visual bugs, like the time Henry felt the need to use stark white eyeliner in the mines. This is just missing textures, and it happens a few times in the game, but it's no biggie. There's also the time this fellow decided he needed some yoga right in the moment. Overall, though, I haven't seen a single game-breaking bug. I am pleasantly surprised, but I'm also a little sad that I haven't seen a corpse fly through the air or spin around in one place or fun stuff like that. I must hand it to Warhorse. This is an example of how games should look at release. Take notes, all other devs. And yeah, you still have the good old NPCs blocking your view during conversations sometimes. Other times, character models simply go missing, and you're left talking to an empty field or a tree or something. But for the most part, KCD2 is damn well done. Congrats, Warhorse, on a fine title. So, let's talk about the story. In my 70 hours of playtime, I found the story to be brilliant. There are so many twists and turns that it hooks you and keeps you in place. It's not a game that is easy to abandon, and the believable characters will see you forming actual emotional bonds. You'll be in it for the long run in this game, I reckon. It's just brilliant. You'll also meet some characters from the first game that you will really want to get revenge on. No spoilers here. The voice acting is world class. It's some of the best I've seen in recent memory.
He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
And while you do have the odd scene that feels a bit weird, it's fantastic for the most part. This NPC was supposed to be horrified.
Coob is in a bad way. He got shot. He needs to rest. What do you want from him?
She just seems bored. And this weird staring off in a direction suddenly is a bit jarring. But overall, it's really, really well done. Especially Jobst.
I received a report that von Bergov's banner is flying in the camp of my dear cousin Sigismund. So I assume the negotiations at Trotsky didn't go too smoothly.
And now we have to talk about the first true negative in this game. Mandatory stealth missions. I cannot begin to describe how much I hated the Siege of Talmberg, trying to be stealthy up on the wall in the first game. The second game throws a lot more of this at you. It starts with a mandatory stealth mission and features several throughout the campaign. And they are painful most of the time, and it's only through save scumming that I got through some of the harder ones. That said, stealth doesn't suit my gaming style. I like to move fast, get things done, and then move on. Stealth in this game will test your patience. You'll have to take it slow, keep your head on a swivel, and form mental maps to get through. The game could do without these, but they serve the story so well, which is why I bear them, and actually, after a while, began to enjoy the challenge they pose. There's one stealth mission, no spoilers, where I decided to kill all of the enemies present. This took multiple attempts, but man was it satisfying when I was done. So while you're pigeonholed into doing these missions with stealth, you can still choose how you apply the stealth. You can also throw stones now, which distract enemies and can line up that perfect stealth kill. Overall, however, the story itself is filled with twists, highs and lows, and there's immense satisfaction to be gained. It's a brilliant bit of writing, and you'll enjoy almost every moment of it. This game really knows how to tug on the emotions, taking you from a happy, carefree scene to a brutal frustration in the next to it just keeps going. It's so masterfully done. But you'll have to look past the shallow nature of the game first to get into the story. It feels, at least for a while, as though the game is all about brawling, drinking, and women. Like I said before, the typical male fantasy.
All right, Henry. Come then, Henry, we drink to memory of parents.
But it goes so very much deeper than that. And if you stick it out, your time in Kingdom Come 2 is well rewarded. Overall, this game is a work of art. It's a story about revenge, love, the brutality of warfare, the fleeting nature of life in the Middle Ages, and it all comes together in an historically accurate rendition of old Bohemia. It's taken what the first game did well and improved upon that formula. And while the early game can feel frustrating and like it's an uphill battle for a while, things soon start to click into place and you slowly reach that point of feeling a tad overpowered. Only for the aforementioned scenario where unnamed Bandit 1 brains you in a single hit with his mighty mace, brings you right back down to earth. You never really feel invincible, which is in large part of the charm here. You're just Henry, that same old blacksmith's son, and while you've come a damn long way, this world doesn't give much of a shit about you, and your untimely death could be around any corner. The gameplay is solid, the story is masterful, the world is alive and majestic. Overall, I cannot heap enough praise on this game. I'm giving it a well-deserved 9 out of 10. It's glorious. But that leaves us, my friends, with one final question. Should you even buy this game in all its gritty realism? Because if there's one thing gamers know, it's that gritty realism doesn't always equal fun in video games. Warhorse Studios gets it spot on. And this game is bags of fun. If you enjoyed the first game, you'll love this game. If you enjoyed Skyrim, you'll love this game. But if you enjoy fast-paced shooters or sci-fi action games where there's constant action and everything feels like an arcade, then this may not be the game for you. You have to have a certain patience to truly enjoy KCD2. If you don't have it, you'll find this game to be frustrating and slow, most likely. But for those of us who don't mind taking it slow and smelling the flowers every now and then, KCD2 is well worth the buy. You get a lot of game for your money. There's well over 100 hours of entertainment in this game, perhaps even closer to 200. In my humble opinion, KCD2 is a masterpiece that every story lover should play at least once. I would nominate this game for Game of the Year in an instant. We all know GTA 6 is on the horizon, but yeah, this is a definite contender. And it's only February, we have been blessed. And that's it for our first feature review on the channel. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and if you'd like to see a playthrough of KCD2 on the channel, also leave a comment and a like. Until next time, stay safe out there.